Well, some of you out there are old already. Some of you are halfway there. And some of you are young and you haven't made it there yet. When I was in my late teens and early 20s, I used to think that people with 35 or 40 were old. And this message right here, we're going to talk about getting old. And I've got two clips for you, and I'm going to bring it all home so you can see where we're going and how that we should be thankful and we should be humble. And let's just take a look at this first clip of some old people talking. It's an old clip talking about getting old and how it sucks. Take a listen.
Huh? How old are you? 80, pass 80, all right?
How's that? Be married for 44 years, had a nice wife, 2 nice children. What the hell would you figure? I knew I was going to get old someday, but I didn't think I was going to have trouble with my foot.
I used to be able to walk miles so far, and it didn't bother me now. I'm glad I come home. As soon as I come home, I lay on the bed and I take a rest of 20 minutes, and then I feel much better.
But me, Bill, I came here in America, and I live in Brooklyn 43 years. And before was very nice here, and now it's terrible. I had my family, and I lost my husband 24 years ago. I'm all alone.
During the day, I sit around and I watch television till 1:30 after the dating game goes on.
I get such funny feelings. You're all alone. And you get depressed. I go to the doctor. The doctor says you're nervous and you got probably your nerves twenty acid in your stomach and you suffer.
I used to be a regular guy. I had shoe trees and everything. Today,
Being old.
no good to be old. Rotten to be old. Supposing I tell you, you wouldn't believe it. Many a time, honest to goodness, I say, if I had no children, I'd blow my brains out. Forget about it. What the hell is the difference? What have I got? Have I got anything?
Something else, isn't it? Especially the guy that talks about blowing his brains out. Feels like there's nothing else left to live for, basically, because he's old. Now, we'll deal back with that as we go further here in the message. But let me read off some scriptures to you about getting old. Proverbs 16:31 says, "Gray hair is a crown of splendor, and it is obtained by a righteous life." And James 4:14 tells us that life is short and beauty of youth is gone soon. Book of Ecclesiastes tells us Solomon went deeply talking all about the aging. In Ecclesiastes, let's look at Ecclesiastes 7:10. "Do not say, why were the old days better than those? For it's not wise to ask such questions." Isaiah 46:4. "Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am he. I am he who will sustain you. I have made you and I will carry you, and I will sustain you and I will rescue you." Isaiah 46:4. And then Job. I pulled this one from Job. Job 12:12. "It is not wisdom found amongst the aged? Does not long life bring understanding?" Yes, getting old is a blessing. We're going to be facing father time, or there's a saying that you hit the wall. That's what they say. I don't know if you guys ever heard that phrase. They use it on women a lot. Some of the younger generation, they'll say she's hit the wall. That means she's getting old. She don't have the looks that she has anymore. We are gonna have that. I'm looking in the mirror at times and I'm like, gosh, I'm looking like, wow, that was just 2 years ago, and things. And if I didn't cut my hair low, I'll be gray for sure. Everything will be gray. But I think back to the friends and people that I've known, especially over this last year, people in my age group, people that have not made it. Friend of mine ended up pancreatic cancer, took him out in less than 2 years. Here recently, just a few months ago. I mean, I think of all the people in my 20s, right after graduating from high school, there's people that have not made it and have had the opportunity to be blessed and get to that stage and things. So getting old and gaining wisdom is a good thing in a sense, because as you saw that old guy, yes, our bodies begin to break down. Yeah, you wake up sometime and it's like, God, this whatever, I might be, I didn't even do anything. Why is my leg hurting? Or why, you guys know what I'm talking about. You just have these ailments that show up out of nowhere. And I had an old friend, we were working there in the plastic plant, and he bent over and could not lift back up. And he wasn't that old. He was in his 40s at that time, but he bent over, could not lift back up, and they had to call 911 and an ambulance. He had got some type of spasm in his back and carried him out on a stretcher. I mean, things happen as we get old. And the thing is, we live in a society where old continuously gets disrespected. People think it's funny. They make a mockery of the elderly. They mistreat the elderly. Church folks mistreat the elderly. And it goes on and on for some reason or another. People forget the contributions that many of the elderly have given to society. Old Moses was called at such a late age in his elderly years. And he carried the people of Israel out of this horrendous treatment that they were under Pharaoh. God can still use you in your senior years. But there's a thing that I want to talk about on this next clip. Talk about integrity versus despair. I learned this, I learned this when I was in college and in my counseling classes. And this integrity versus despair. And I want you to hear how this particular clip here explains it. And then we'll talk and finish this video up.
Integrity versus despair is the final stage of Erik Erikson's psychosocial development theory, occurring in late adulthood. During this stage, individuals reflect on their lives and assess whether they have lived with purpose and fulfillment. If they feel they have made meaningful contributions and lived according to their values, they experience a sense of integrity, leading to satisfaction and wisdom. However, if they feel regret over missed opportunities or unresolved mistakes, they may experience despair, leading to feelings of bitterness or fear about the future. The way individuals navigate this stage influences their emotional well-being in later life. Now let's look at the origin of this theory. The integrity versus despair stage was introduced by Erik Erikson as part of his 8-stage theory of psychosocial development. Erikson believed that each stage of life presents a unique psychological challenge that must be resolved for healthy development. He proposed that in old age, people naturally look back on their experiences to evaluate whether they have lived a meaningful life. Those who successfully resolve this stage develop wisdom and acceptance, while those who struggle may experience regret and dissatisfaction. Now let's look at some examples of integrity versus despair. One example of integrity in late adulthood is a person who feels a sense of pride in their achievements and relationships. A retired teacher who has positively impacted students' lives may look back with satisfaction, knowing their efforts helped others. By embracing both successes and challenges as part of their journey, they feel at peace with their past. On the other hand, an example of despair is someone who regrets not pursuing their dreams or maintaining important relationships. A person who focused only on work at the expense of family may struggle with feelings of guilt and loneliness in old age. If they believe it is too late to make meaningful changes, they may experience emotional distress and dissatisfaction. Now let's look at some strengths of Erikson's theory. One strength of Erikson's integrity versus despair theory is that it emphasizes the importance of reflection in later life. By acknowledging that individuals naturally review their past, the theory provides insight into the emotional and psychological experiences of aging. It highlights how personal growth continues even in old age and encourages people to find meaning in their life experiences. Another strength is that the theory provides a framework for understanding emotional well-being in older adults. It helps caregivers, family members, and psychologists support individuals who may be struggling with despair by encouraging positive reflection, reconciliation, and finding new sources of fulfillment. Now let's look at some criticisms of the theory. One criticism of Erikson's theory is that it assumes people follow a predictable life path. In reality, individuals reflect on their lives at different times, not just in old age. Some may experience a crisis of meaning earlier in life, while others may continue to grow and change well into their later years, making the strict timeline of the theory less applicable to everyone. Another criticism is that the theory focuses heavily on personal reflection without fully considering external factors. Social and cultural influences, financial stability, and health conditions all affect how individuals experience aging. Some people may struggle with despair due to circumstances beyond their control, rather than personal choices or reflections. By not addressing these external influences, the theory may oversimplify the emotional challenges of aging.
I've worked when I was working as a chaplain, I had an opportunity to be in a nursing home and be around elderly folks that were abandoned, lonely, and just have given up in many cases. That guy that was talking about blowing his brains out remind me of a particular man. I was there today. His son brought him to the nursing home, and he was fired up. I don't know why my son is bringing me here. I don't want to be here. I mean, he was mad. But his son, and unfortunately for some, people have to work still, and they can't take care of a parent or a grandma. And situations happen where they end up in a nursing home. And this son bought his, and this is a very nice nursing home, and they take very well good care of people there. And he was there at this particular place, and I remember they wanted me to go in there and talk to him. Now, I saw him ranting and raving when he came in. He wasn't happy. And he sat there, and I went in. He's reading the newspaper, got his leg crossed like that guy in the video. And what do you want? And things. And I come in, and I just kind of go with the flow of this. I don't know. There's times when I walk in with a hostile situation, and it's a blessing. I know that the Lord is with me, has given me a gift to be able to interact with people in that way. I can't remember what I said with them actually, but I was able to get it good enough to where I can sit down with them and get to have some small talk. And I remember, I don't know, several weeks or so later, and I remember he was gathering his things. I said, "Where you going? What you doing?" "Oh, my son is getting ready to come and get me. He's going to take me to, we're going to go have a drink. He's taking me to the bar, and we're going to go have a drink." And I said, "Your son," and I can't remember exactly what I said, but his son was still there and things. And unfortunately, there's a whole lot of people in their elderly years. Nobody's there. Just like the other lady's talking about, you're lonely. Maybe your spouse has died. Maybe your kids have abandoned you and things. And here you have situations like that where, you're going to have to really have someone to lean on. And that's where our faith, having faith in the Lord and having someone, even though it gets tough. I mean, to have nothing, I couldn't imagine having nothing. But even having all the faith that you think you have, that's the thing. So many people think that they so tough spiritually. They think they tough. Think they tough until a certain circle, and they look down upon everybody else. And then they find out. You find out how tough, they find out how tough they really think they are when a trial, certain things come their way. And you find out who's your friends, who's your loved ones, who's the ones that have betrayed you, and you find yourself maybe all alone. And this, it's a tough thing because all of us has got a date And only the Lord knows the date and time and hour and the minute, the second that we're going to breathe our last breath. Only he knows. And it's something else when I see these many people just assume that they're going to get to live this long, long life. And there's no guarantee you get to live this long life. And being that we talk about false teachers and false messengers on this channel and Christian nationalists and things on this channel, it's awful to me when I see these so-called prophets and people God has given me where they basically have entered a time machine in their mind, and they're trying to tell you God has told me 2, 3, 4, 5 years out, as if they just gonna be here. Because, you know, one thing I was thinking with that is they may not be here, and guess what? They won't have to give an account to be held responsible for the lies that they put out there because they're not here. So this assumption that we just get to go, that we're going to get to live 85, 95 years old. I don't know where this comes from, but you take it, life gives no promises. You take it day by day. And I add this in here before I close the message out. You know, you get these same people, being that this is a Christian channel. You get these self-righteous evangelicals and everybody else that want to try to direct and guide, tell you what to do in your life. And that's funny when we talk about integrity versus despair and how some will have this satisfaction of possibly doing the best that they could have done with their circumstances, situations in life. And then you have others that are self-righteous that want to spend their time trying to tell you how to live your life. Ain't that something? That you got people like that their goal and their agenda is to tell people within the nation and around the world, this is how you have to live. You got to live by these certain set of Christian rules that we have made up or have added to, because a lot of this stuff they've added to the word, they come up with different things. You've got to live by this. You've got to live by our standards. Don't you get caught up into that. God has given us a free will. You're going to either love them or you're going to just reject them. And that's up to you. But don't let somebody come, some self-righteous evangelical or whoever else, try to tell you how to guide and destroy the dreams that you possibly may be trying to pursue. And that goes for family members, friends, and all of them. If you have to cut them off, because you only get one life on this earth, and time is short, and we're all going to have to check up out of here. And you want to, while you got breath in your body, I know some of you I know some of you told me you've disabled out there. Some of you don't have as much monies and things, but some of you are content. Some of you, whatever you still want to do it. Do it while you have time. Do it while you have time. You may not be able to go out and touch someone, but you can write letters to maybe women that are battling with pregnancy issues, or, as far as pregnancy centers, or writing female inmates or young youth, or you could be a volunteer, make calls. You can do there's all types of things that you can do from the comfort of your home to bring about that satisfaction of giving back if you feel like you haven't done much or feel like you need to do more. Get involved, stay involved, give God the glory. We'll continue to do that as we continue to push forward and call out those that are lying and masquerading as a Christian and this evangelical nonsense where they think that they control everybody, but you're not going to control us because God has given us free will, and we know that the law is written within our hearts, and if we want to be directed and led by the Spirit, we're going to do that if we love him. Because he said, if you love me, you keep my commandments. So until the next video, Evangelism for God is a channel where we talk about issues the church run away from, tackle Satan and his tactics, punch him right in between the chops. My name is Maurice Braxton. Until the next video, my friends, take care. God bless.